Hello, hello, hello at isang mayaman, maswerte at magis na araw sa ating lahat. Ayun no, sa mga taga Cebu dyan, shout out sa inyong lahat. Salamat sa inyong suporta, mas ngilngig pa mus humba. O, di ba? Idadaan ko na lang ito sa energy level ba? Pasensya na po, talagang kinakabahan lang. Alam nyo naman kapag nakikita nyo na dyan yung recording, I think most of you could relate, no? Parang nako-conscious ka a bit ba, no? Char. Anyway, I think there is no need for me to introduce myself na, no? I assume that since you decided to attend this session, you already read and got interested, of course, in our abstract. And I hope that together with that, you also somehow read regarding the background of the speaker of this video. All right. Now, I would like to believe that since you cannot answer me right now, this is a pre-recorded video, so I'll decide myself. Let's just skip that part, okay? To save time. Because I have so much to share and I am all the more excited to tell you about these wonderful things, okay? Now, as a Microsoft Office certified PowerPoint specialist, my main goal in today's talk is not anymore about the wealth of e-learning tools that we have out there, okay? My principle is why not just focus in one and just master it, di ba? And make it more interesting. Anyway, lahat naman siguro tayo na nandito, 'di ba? Alam na natin kung paano i-maneuver yung PowerPoint. It's been our friend for the longest time already. Pre-COVID times pa, we've been doing PowerPoint presentations. So at the very least, we already have a background on how to use it. I hope that in this sharing, you'll be able to pick up a few things that could also be helpful in trying to innovate and improve your PowerPoint presentations. So let's together discover how this fairly low tech method can profoundly enhance your teaching and learning processes in our online classroom as we all prepare and once again strive and thrive in the upcoming school year. Let us all together harness PowerPoint as a tool that can increase student engagement, help teachers improve their lesson plans, and facilitate personalized learning. So I tell you, no, what I'm about to share later, these PowerPoint stuffs have greatly helped me and ultimately made me an effective online teacher. So sige na, I think I've been talking too much already. I know that you were able to get it na, right? That PowerPoint, as low-key as it may seem, may ibubuga pa yan. It's just that we have not unlocked its true potential yet. So, ganito yung flow natin ngayon, ha? O, di ba? O, nakikita nyo dyan. Passive points to PowerPoints. And how do we do that? My dear friends, ganito lang yan. I'll begin with the top 10 PowerPoint games that me and my students last year enjoyed playing, no? As we learn the subject Filipino. By the way, they call me Ginoong Malagar since I'm teaching Filipino in grade 2. But that doesn't matter. This sharing is really for all grade levels, K to 12 or higher, to move beyond passive teaching with bullet points to teaching with interactive lessons that engage students. I think no matter how old you are, we have our own games, right? We devote some time for playing. So if you've used PowerPoint as a book replacement in the past, let us now learn how to transition using PowerPoint as a tool in enhancing instruction with discussion, activities, and multimedia. Get ready to try new techniques so you can embed these new approaches into your practice. But I'd like to make this clear. I'm not the one who created all these PowerPoint games. We give credit to where credit is due, and that is Mr. John Rodwell of PowerPoint Games.uk and Dr. Jeff Ertzberger from uncw.edu/edgames. If you wish to check those websites later on, no problem with me. You'll be able to find so much more games, no, that you could use also in your lessons. Please know that I'm not asking any fee for this. I'll be giving you the link of the Google Drive where I have compiled this PowerPoint. If you just email to me a promissory note, just kidding, just a letter, no, in the email that you're seeing on the screen, mattmalagar@gmail.com, and I will be so happy to reply with the link. Okay. Part two, of course, after discussing all those PowerPoint games, I'll be helping you learn on how to integrate active text boxes in PowerPoint as we speak right now. If you could notice, oh, huh? Even though this is being presented, I could still input some words right here if I wish to put the names of the participants here, and I'll put them scores or whatsoever. It's like a whiteboard. It's like a whiteboard embedded in a certain slide. Okay, but much easier to use and much easier to prepare, because once you already have it in one slide, you can immediately just duplicate or even cut it to paste it in a different game that you wish to have an active box on. This is the one that really makes it more engaging aside from the game itself. So be ready to breathe new life into your online classes with active text boxes. But please know, before we proceed, I am very sorry for the Mac OS users, because as of now, they don't have yet a developer tab for their PowerPoint software. So you can only put active text boxes if you're using Windows 10 in a Microsoft, of course, in a Microsoft device. All right. And lastly, I'm going to walk you through some videos, recorded lessons with real students during our orientation period in Sacred Heart School Ateneo de Cebu, where I integrated games at the same time. Those active text boxes that I talked about, you'll be able to see them in action. All right. Just disclaimer, of course, for confidentiality reasons, I will be blurring out or covering the faces of my students. You'll only be able to see Ginoong Malagar right here. Anyway, to those who are using Teams, you are already familiar, right, with the interface. Okay. And so, without further ado, let's begin with part one. All right, before I share to you how to play the mechanics of our first game, let me just share to you a very quick tip, on how we present our slides in Microsoft Teams. So what we usually do in Ateneo de Cebu, we go to the slideshow tab of the Microsoft PowerPoint software. We go to Setup Slideshow and we have it browsed by an individual window. So when we present that one, it does not take up your screen. It is resizable and movable, right? And you can even show two PowerPoints at the same time. Oftentimes, this is my actual interface, no, when I'm having a class, because I'm using a second screen, man. So I use the second screen to project the faces, the chat box, the MS Teams video conference interface, while on the screen of my laptop, I have here my, on the left side, I have there my PowerPoint slide for the lesson, which sometimes contains the questions, and I have on the right side the PowerPoint game. So that is why having a PowerPoint browse as an individual window is very much helpful also. Okay, so the very first game is called the space race game. Please take note that most of them already contain a slide where they tell you the mechanics of the game. No, so I will not be visiting all 10 PowerPoints since anyway there are already instructions embedded, just like this. So there are supposed to be two teams. One team is the rocket, and one team is the alien. So on and so forth. So if you establish the rules, if you have established the groups, then you could proceed. It also comes with its own sound effects, no? From the sound of a rocket and the sound of an alien ship. Now, if you want to start, you see this play button right here. And it will begin just like that. Three, two, one. Let's begin the race. So since this is a race, I think that the last destination would be the planet Mars, okay? Which will be ahead. Is it going to be the rocket ship or the alien ship? So let's click on this home button. If you're going to click that, it will show you your questions dashboard. So you could embed up to 16 questions for this PowerPoint game. So for question number one, I don't have here since it's a blank template. So you're the one who's going to put the question right there. If you click on it, it's going to reveal an answer as well. Now, once somebody was able to get it right, you click on the Earth right there. You go back to the race and you decide which ship is going to move first. So if I click on the rocket, that will move forward. If I click on the alien ship, that would also move. Okay, basically, you know already. Just an added tweak that you can do for the game. Okay, I remember during our first trimester, we read about the story of the tortoise and the hare. What I did is I replaced the rocket ship with a hare and the alien ship with a tortoise. So integrated with the story that we have as a springboard to the lesson. So it's just fairly easy. You could go to Google Images, you could just copy it, and when you copy a picture, that would automatically go to the clipboard, right? So once you go back to your PowerPoint, you right click on the picture that you wish to replace. You could see there the option change picture, and you just get it from clipboard, the last thing that you have copied. That's why I searched in Google a transparent picture, no, so that it would look better. So it's really up to your creativity already. Okay, so it's the potential of this game having races is limitless per se. Now let's move on to game number two. We have here the blowpipe spinner game. Again, it comes with instructions already. And in this game, I even have the active text box already in place. So when I click on slideshow, again, it is presented as a window. I could just drag it around my screen, have it second screen or third screen, or whichever you like. Now, this game is fairly easy and very exciting for the kids because you could somehow tell them that there's a prize now inside those gifts, and their goal is to blow up those balloons so that they could see what's inside. And to make it even more interesting, you have there the wheel, the spinning wheel, which could decide what's the fate of the representative right there. No, the ones wearing green and violet. So you could spin that. I While it's spinning, I ask students, no, especially those who are behaving, of course. I call them and tell me when to stop. So they will be listening good. So they tell me, stop, teacher. Oh, so what's the fate of the group? It's a miss. What to click? If it's a miss, you click on the body. So there are sound effects right there. Ah, sad. Okay. Because he was able to miss it. There's also spin again. There's hit and there's a reverse hit. The hit will be given to the opponent, no? So it's like it's really very very exciting. Okay, fast forward to the last balloon. Once they blow up all the balloons in this game, look at the reward. So that's it. The winners will get to watch a fireworks display. But as you can see, how you could integrate the active text boxes, no, for a certain game. So this is what I do. Whenever a student gets the answer right, I type their names in the text boxes, and that would be shown real time. No? For example, Matt Erickson, you got +5 or whatsoever. No? I also use that as a basis because I'm going to take a screenshot of the winners because at the end of the session, I always see to it to really fulfill my promise, no, to give them a Microsoft Teams praise. If you're using Teams, you already know this feature, right? So for this one, in this praise, we have here Team Lila or the girls who won the Bottle Rack game. It helps a lot, no, in making your lessons, your online teaching much engaging, much interesting for the students. There are more games, but we were just able to discuss two of them, but there were 10 in the folder. Oh, we have the cannonball spinner, which is more or less the same with the blowpipe, but it's just using cannonballs, no? If you are curious, then you know what to do. Send me an email, and the reward is all 10 of them. O, diba? We also have here the dungeon quiz. One of their favorite games because what I did here, for them to go to the next level, I changed the faces. No? It could even be COVID-19 or whatsoever. It's really up to your creativity. The last or the boss level, they were laughing to see a caricature of their teacher. It really depends on how you also hype them up in the discussion in the game itself. Okay, that's for the dungeon. We also have here the game of drones. Oh, very simple. Just see the instructions, okay? And you are all free to tweak this according to your liking because these are really editable. We have the Where's Mickey game where all they need to guess is where is Mickey, you know? Their job is to look for Mickey, but again, I tweaked it and I told them to look for the hidden Matty. So when I present this, like that, I just click on my face. I tell them that I'm hiding, and their job is to guess which box I'm using to hide. Is it the blue one? Oh, immediately I already know. Of course, because I was the one hiding, diba? If you want to have a next round, you click on this. Again, the same process. The active text box is right here for their names. You could again tweak it according to what picture you want to use, what face that would make the game more interesting for your kids, depending on depending on their context, no, and the relevant issues that you want to integrate. Next in the file, we have the football game, one of my favorites. Very easy too. Okay. Again, there will be two teams, and the goal there is just to have more goals than the opposing team. Simple. If you wish to add a score, you just click on these boxes. If you wish to hit a goal, you just click on the goal. As simple as that. We are now down to the last three games on our list, and basically, they are just more or less the same. Okay, just breeze through the mechanics slide so that you'll know how to play it with your kids. So I will just leave the last three games for your exploration lang ha. I'm pretty much sure that you and your students will love them. Anyway, if you have questions later on, feel free to message me through social media or ask me later on the question and answer portion after this video. Okay? Because we need to proceed to the next part, talking about how to create your own active box. Now, for the next part of our session, I promise to teach you on how you could also add those text boxes, right? So it's very easy. Again, for Windows users, you have to add first the Developer tab to your Microsoft PowerPoint ribbon on the top. Okay, so this is how you're going to do that. First, you want to click on Options. Next, click on Customize Ribbon. And from that list, you see there, diba, the tabs, Insert, Design, you got Draw. If I click on that, it will have another tab right there inserted. But what we're looking for is the Developer tab. So make sure you got a check on it and click on OK. Once you have the Developer tab, you can now create your active text box. So for example, in this game, since there's no text box yet, this is what we're going to do. So we're looking for the active X control, the second from the options, the one with the box. What you need to do is to draw a box right here. Make sure you have it enabled, okay? So immediately a white box would appear. And once you present that, again, make sure to have it browsed by an individual window. It's immediately an active text box already, but it's just using the default font, okay? And it's just one-liner. How now, Malagar? Question: how do we edit the fonts for an active text box? So it's like this. Go again to the Developer tab. Make sure that you have clicked on the box that you have drawn. You click on Properties and look for Font. So it's Arial DI. That's why it looks like that. If you want to change it with a more interesting font style and much bigger text for primary, so it will be like that. But it's still one liner. It's not multi-line. So how do we change that? All right, so this time we need to look for the multi-line option in the properties. Since it's false, we'll just have to make it true. And afterwards, you'll see that it is now multi-line. So when I present that, whatever I type on it, whatever font style that you can see there, if the screen is being shared in a conference, they will see that real time. Whatever I input in this box now. And the winner is dun, 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 whatever I input there. My students who are in the meeting, of course, would able to see that real time. I hope that you were able to get the steps. Don't worry, no. If you need a guide on how to do it all over again, I'll be including a separate video discussing this one again, an MP4 file together with the compiled PowerPoint games in a Google Drive. So we'll be sharing that link in the email. All right. I hope that at this point you are already thinking of ways on how you could maximize these PowerPoint games, tweak it, improve it, and apply it into your lessons together with the ever engaging active text boxes. Now, to give you a glimpse on how I did it with my advisory class, I will be showing to you some short clips, no, on how I applied the ones that we just talked about. Just please know that there was some change of procedures at the later part of the school year. I was only able to record videos, record our proceedings during the orientation days only. But anyway, I'm hoping that this would stimulate some cognitive juices right there. And you could use this as a benchmark in that you will be able to put your personal touch into these things. Okay, just very quickly, sit back, relax, and enjoy, and I will be back. Who is raising their hand? What to click if you want to answer? Diba? There's a raise hand button. Okay, who can click that first? Oh, Jaden, what's your answer?
The chat button.
Wow, you are so brilliant. Let me type that answer for you, Jaden. You just got it right. So you will be the first one who will be able to receive a prize from Mr. Malagar. We call that the chat button. So you click that if there's a need to send a message as a chat. Next question. So we have one boy with one praise from Mr. Malagar. Next question. Oh, so easy. How about this button? What do you call that? Anybody who's raising their hand? We have here the first one is
Raise hand
Darian.
button.
Darian,
Raise hand
can you
button.
unmute
The
yourself?
raise hand button.
Wow, you said it perfectly, Darian. We call that, let me type it for you. And that's what you click, right? So that
Raise
I can
hand
see that
button.
you're raising your hand. We call that the raise hand button. And you click that if you need to answer, if you need to raise your hand. That's what you did, Darian, a while ago. Thank you for that. Next, is there more? I'd like to give more prizes. So there's one more question. What is that button right there? Haha, very easy. There's even a clue already. You can even read it. Meyer, do you have an answer?
Leave button.
All right, so it's very easy. You just have to read the word right there, and it says leave. So of course that would be the leave button. What will happen, Meyer, if you click that? So you will be saying goodbye to us, right? You
Yeah,
will be
you
leaving
leave the meeting.
the room. Thank you for that, Meyer. So, 5 kids will be receiving a prize from Mr. Malagar. And that only goes to show that you were actually very attentive to our session yesterday because you remembered these very important buttons. And so I'm going to type those who will be receiving. Number one, if I remember it correctly, that was Michiko, right? Here. Robbie. It's Meyer. So I'm writing it down so I will remember it later because I'll be sending it later to you. Continue. Here are the students who were able to gain a point. We have two for Zayana. Please give me two numbers, Zayana. Let's see if somebody will be able to find the treasure this time. Go, Zayana. 35. Treasure or nothing. Toink. Sorry. Next number, please. Let's Robbie. It's your chance, Robbie.
26.
Number 26. Final answer. Treasure or nothing. Oh, sorry, Robbie. It's not there. I guess I'll just have to click all the boxes na because it's almost time. Let's see where is the treasure. You keep on believing the trick of Mr. Malaga. Maybe you'll have your luck next time. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you and goodbye. Okay, I think that's about it, my dear friends. My apologies, by the way, for I was only able to retrieve those 3 video files in our stream. Please do share na lang, no? Kayo na lang yung gagawa ng video. You shared to me your experience. How was the games? How was the active text box when you used it in your classes in the future? Okay, ha? Just a reminder, I'll put my email down below so that you'll be able to get the link to the compiled PowerPoint game and the guide video for the active text box. Anyway, I hope that this session have been insightful and helpful for you. I hope to see you around, but hindi natin ito tatapusin. Hindi kumpleto ang isang webinar, di ba? Without this parting words, some quotable quotes. And dito naman, hindi basta-basta yung guest natin kasi we have Bill Gates. And according to him, technology is just a tool in terms of getting the kids, our students, working together, motivated and engaged. It's the teacher that is the most important because technology partnered with a great teacher makes learning transformational. There goes my 30 minutes. Thank you and goodbye. Happy teaching. Keep safe. Always magis, always luxurians, always ad maiorem Dei gloriam.